FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the main watch today, the making and breaking of killers. And in the second watch, review of Boys and Girls Champs 2024. For our social media question, we ask, why do you think some of our boys turn into killers? Share your responses on our Facebook, YouTube Love 1 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on the program, but first, here's I quote.
Whoever is happy will make others happy too. And that's from Anne Frank.
Kareem, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Stokeley.
I think Anne Frank is a friend of yours.
Really?
The camera is not turned to you at the moment, but you always have this brilliant, highly motivating.
Yeah, and it's crazy, it's crazy because I'm not a morning person, but I gotta be a morning person on the morning program.
You always seem to have a good vibe.
Yeah. It's intentional.
Yes, the main watch. We'll be back after this break.
Coming up on the next Campus Connection, we'll be unlocking academic excellence with ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence, AI, is a technology that has the potential to transform educational systems and make them more inclusive and adaptive. AI can also help prepare students for the careers of today and tomorrow by integrating it into the STEM curriculum and developing their skills and competencies. We will explore 7 ethically innovative prompts that can transform your academic journey and unlock your potential. You are invited to join the conversation with Dr. Sheldon Campbell, AI enthusiast, and honor roll guest Miss Diane Plummer, Jamaican engineer and STEM enthusiast. This all happens on Tuesday, March 26th at 5:30 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Easter time come, we go pick up a mother's Easter bun.
It's the king, all the right ingredients, the proper amount of fruit, well soaked and baked to soft, delicious perfection.
A sub-bun for nice. So whether you add cheese, butter, or even a patty, mother's Easter bun is the one that will make you say, a sub-bun for nice.
Mother's Easter bun, the king, Hurry and grab one before it's done.
More deliciousness from Mother's Bakery.
Join us as we celebrate 25 years of Youth Congress on Friday, April 5 and Saturday, April 6. Friday at 9 a.m. be at the National Convention Center for the National Talent Showcase Competitions, and 5 p.m. an electrifying evangelistic street meeting at the Old Bus Park in Old Harbour. The excitement continues on Saturday with a jam-packed day of activities, then culminating the epic Ignite Worship Fest with Kevin Dowswell, Orville Sutherland, and more. Mark your calendars for April 5 and 6 and be a part of history at the New Testament Church of God Youth and Discipleship Department's Ignite Youth Congress. Forward together, keeping some families alive.
The season of Lent runs from Ash Wednesday through to the Easter weekend, and Christians all over the world will make various sacrifices and join extra prayers and special fasts in observance of the most sacred time on the Christian calendar. Love 101 once again joins the Escarpment Road New Testament Church of God for renewal of the mind. After all, this is the aim, that our minds will be changed and revelation for a new mindset will be achieved. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11:05 a.m., on Tuesday at 9:45 a.m., and Saturdays at 12 p.m. for renewal of the mind. A short reminder and devotional that will help to keep your mind focused on the Lenten season. Let us aim to be transformed and discern what the will of God is. Renewal of the mind, right here on the Family Station. Love 101.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. 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 Be everything where you need. Bash quality service guaranteed and a Bashco. Bashco. That gives you more. Yeah, Bashco. Get furniture for your house, bed linen, everything for your kitchen, rocks, hubs, and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese. Give me yummy, bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese. Give me yummy. Don't stop at just a one slice, please. No other bun, perfect for me. Yummy. For real Jamaican flavor and quality for sure this Easter. Make yummy the bun to your cheese. Yummy. Give me yummy, yummy. Give me yummy. For the Easter, yummy bun zeta. Yummy for me family, yummy for me, sir. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese. Yummy. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese. Best bun. Give me yummy.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch, and it is indicated that it is not an overnight process, but it takes years of concentrated focus and design. And you might wonder what it takes all this time to do, but in fact it does take some amount of grooming and training, to produce a crop of persons who regrettably become killers, murderers, persons who cause challenges for our security forces in terms of trying to resolve crimes committed, murders committed. It is said that they are killers by the dozens, etc. Have we lost an entire generation? I don't think we have lost an entire generation, but the challenges are there. While the police do their job, we have to have the discussion as to why these things are happening and how we can help to prevent them from occurring in the future. We have as our guest today Dr. Leakim Semaj, founder, chief ideator of Above or Beyond, and a transformation psychologist. We also have criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay. Dr. Mackay is also the chief executive officer of Mackay Security. Dr. Mackay, Dr. Semaj, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Is that Dr.
Semaj here?
Semaj, yes. Dr. Mackay, I don't think we have Dr. Mackay on quite as yet, but hope to have him on in a moment. Dr. Semaj, you sound a little bit low. Are you well, sir?
I'm good.
Excellent, excellent. Glad that you're with us. Now, starting with you, Dr. Semaj, while we try to have Dr. Mackay on, what's this about breeding? I don't like that word. What's it about the circumstances that causes killers to be born? I don't mean born in the literal sense, but to change from persons who could have been good children, productive adults, to persons who end up being arrested and charged for murder. Dr. Samaj?
The data has been accumulating for quite some time now. Back in about 1998, the cover article of The Economist magazine said that the biggest problem that the Western world will face are males, young, uneducated, unmarried, unemployed, and unemployable. As far back as then, I actually saved that cover, and I've been talking about that issue since then. Professor Galloway in the US, looking at US data and global data, has corroborated the same phenomenon, that if males, and he sums it up that the most dangerous force in the world today is a young, unattached, unemployed, unemployable young man, the most dangerous force. And I sum it up that if he can't earn it, he will hunt it. The socialization process for males, unless if the default clause is destructive behavior, could be self-destructive or directed otherwise. And by the way, I did a paper recently when we had this male suicide day or month or whatever, and I pointed out that the data is showing us that homicide and suicide have the same roots, and it's a function of the circumstances now where you direct it, outward or inward. Now we can sum it down. This male socialization, one of the most dominant and powerful aspect of it is the male presence in that young boy's development. Ideally, we're talking about fathering. Ideally, it's a father. But there are other persons who have been fortunate enough to have other positive socializing male models in their life that has made incredible impact. Without that, the default clause is destructive behavior.
Yes.
We have been. I remember when we had something up, the ultimate card a mother can draw on a boy when he starts acting up is to point in his face and say, "Wait till your father come home." Now, most mothers can't do that. So once the behavior starts,
there's no father coming home.
There's no father coming home, and the boy is seeking guidance, and if he's not getting it from a positive source, he'll take it from any other source. And they are destructive forces in many of our communities who specialize in that kind of negative, disruptive socialization. And as a society, we have not responded.
Well, Dr. Samaj, only because of time, I quickly try to segue into this whole notion of a gang family. And I know that Dr. Mackay is on, and he recently penned an article which seemed to explain some of the reasons why, things like this can occur. But, some persons will make the case that, you breed these gangs and you breed killers and murderers in certain contexts. But I don't know why I don't like the word breeding in this context. Should we be even having this conversation about the breeding of persons in this way? But be that as it may, sir, it is what it is. In terms of the gang family, can you give some kind of psychological context to this or explanation? What causes a gang family to even emerge in the first place, in your view?
But nature abhors a vacuum. And if you do not have one in your place of residence and your home, whoever that pays you attention, gives you reinforcement, rewards you, encourages you, will actually be the one to transform and to direct your life.
Hold that thought, Dr. Samaj, because I see where we are upon a break. Listeners, go absolutely nowhere. This is a very important conversation. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
This time signal was brought to you by Aculab Diagnostics Limited, located at ATL Plaza in Montego Bay, for all your blood testing needs. Open every day, including Sundays, 6132714.
A time for double up the savings. This are the boost that you've been awaiting. Put it the water dreams you've been chasing. Double up the savings. Double up.
Save so you can win in the Jan Bank Double Up Your Savings promotion. You could be one of 5 lucky quarterly winners to walk away with double the money you put in your savings account. Conditions apply.
Double up the savings.
Check our website and social media for details. Jan Bank will help you find a way. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Have to be a man, got to be a man.
I am a man, I am a man, I am. On the next episode of the Mailbox, we will focus on the topic men and worship. Worship can be defined as the reverence or adoration that one shows towards something or someone, holding a person or object in high esteem, or giving a person or an object a place of importance or honor. There are hundreds of scriptures in the Bible that speak about worship and provide guidance as to both who and how to worship. Are there differences between how men and women worship? You are invited to connect with us as we talk with Mr. Dwayne Murphy, aka D. Murphy, music minister, on Wednesday, March 27th at 5:30 p.m. on the family station. Love 101, the Mailbox, Monday.
Chances are you're sitting in your car right now, or even a taxi, and you're stuck in traffic. But if you had a Flow prepaid plan, you would have unlimited data for navigation apps, so you could avoid much of the traffic and find a better way. So you would avoid bad driving Bobby to your right, who is boring into your lane, and singing Sasha, who doesn't realize everyone can see her. Now, Flow's unlimited social and talk prepaid plans come with unlimited data for navigation apps and more TikTok data than any use data. Get a 7-day Flow prepaid plan for only $950. Get your plan. Download the Top Up Flow app. Conditions apply.
Jamaica's gangs are like packs of rats. Nasty. They live in filth and try and drag us all in there with them, spreading the disease of violence and corruption everywhere. Nasty. But like a pack of rats, they can be eliminated. Rats. With your help. If you have information on gangs, call Crime Stop on 311. This message is brought to you by Crime Stop and their marketing partners, Lime and NCB.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Importers, the Jamaica Customs Agency is revolutionizing your clearance experience as our contactless clearance process becomes mandatory on April 2, 2024. This process will facilitate the clearance of all non-commercial personal shipments at our seaports with a CIF value of less than $5,000 being inspected by customs without you or your agent present. You're encouraged to make your payments using our customs mobile app, JA Customs Connect. Fees payable to your shipping agent and warehouse operator remain applicable. For further information, contact your freight forwarder or email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm or call 876-922-5140-8. The JCA's contactless clearance process is convenient, efficient, and secure. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Ooh la la.
I see what I want at Phosphate Super Sale, March 18 to 28. Visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay.
Come get your wires, breakers, chandeliers, flood lamps, LED bulbs, and so much more. You can't afford to miss it.
Come shop. Come save at Phosphate Super Sale, March 18 to 28.
See you there at Phosphate.
Open Sundays.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch. The topic is the making and breaking of killers. Our guests are Dr. Lakem Semaj and Dr. Jason Mackay. Dr. Semaj, founder, chief ideator, Above or Beyond, and a transformation psychologist. Dr. Jason Mackay, criminologist and chief executive officer of Mackay Security. I gather that Dr. Mackay is now on the line, but just before we hear from Dr. Mackay, Dr. Semaj, just before the break, you're making a very important point. Would you like to finish that thought before we move to Dr. Mackay? Dr. Semaj?
No, I want to say that 20 years ago, I proposed an intervention to the Ministry of Education, proposing that we have at least 12 boys in almost every school that are in the departure lounge. And we need to, I created an intervention to pull them back in. It was really well crafted, I would say. But the response I got was that they have no budget for that. My answer then and still today, if you don't find the budget for that, then all you will do, you will shift that issue to the Ministry of National Security and Justice plus GCT.
Dr. Semaj, please make the proposal again, can you?
Well, you see, I've written for every newspaper for since the 1980s. I'm convinced that people are not listening.
No, I think the country is at a tipping point now where they may be more inclined to listen now. Just try one more time, sir. We're begging you, sir, please.
So I'm happy that Dr. Mackay is doing his job, you know. Well, I shouldn't even say his job, but he's doing that much of so that I do my little part. I have the documentation. I have the research. The other day I went to visit the Hilltop Juvenile Delinquent Facility. And,
yes.
I said, gentlemen, there's a statement I've always wanted to use. Now that we have your attention.
Yes.
Now that we have your attention. And
now that we have your attention.
We need to, the people who we need to separate from the school system, separate from the community, create alternate socializing facilities, because if not, the path that they will be on would be one that's going to cost us a whole lot more money, as we're seeing now in terms of crime and violence.
Dr. Semaj, thank you so much. Dr. Mackay, good morning, sir. Dr. Jason Mackay? I think we have him on, but for some reason I'm not hearing him. Dr. Jason Mackay? Oh, I am not hearing a reply from him. Just one more try. Dr. Jason Mackay, are you hearing us, sir? Really want to inquire of him a couple of things. Well, Dr. Semaj, we will continue with you. I want to get at least one or two comments out of Dr. Jason Mackay if we can before the show wraps today, but we seem to be having a technical challenge. Dr. Semaj, are things gone too badly? Is it gone? Is it too far gone? And what can be done, even at this 11th hour, if I could call it the 11th hour?
I'm an optimist by nature.
Situation.
So that I always believe that there is, once there's hope, the possibility exists for change.
Yeah.
But guess what? First, you have to acknowledge that there's a problem.
I think we have acknowledged a problem by now, Dr. Semaj. You don't think so?
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure, because we keep kicking the can down the road. It is obvious that there are young males who are, one, not being positively socialized within the home environment, and by default, the destructive elements in the broader community who are already steeped in crime and violence have taken on the socialization process for them.
Yeah,
so we really, in the same way that we're going after gangs and criminals, we really need to separate many in the same way that we acknowledge that there are children in need of care and protection. Huh? That's why we have children's homes. They are
point, Dr. Savage. Children in need of care and protection, and how would you describe it in terms of those persons who are inclined to commit murders or who are being so trained, if I could call it that?
It doesn't start off as murder. It starts off as all the various lower level. It starts off as truancy.
Understood.
Not participating in school.
Yes.
Mothers complain, I can't control this child. This child is not coming home, spending all the time on the streets. This child is involved with companies that are questionable company. So by the time then, that mother is not in a position.
Yes. Well, let's bring in Dr. Mackay now, because I gather he's now on the line. Dr. Jason Mackay? Dr. Mackay? I'm hearing, I think he's on, but not hearing his voice. Dr. Jason Mackay? Criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay and Chief Executive Officer of Mackay Security. Trying to have him on. He wrote a recent article, which I'd really love to ask him a couple of points in relation to that article. He, in fact, described a situation where he arrested a young man and he decided to, for a moment, take off his, call it his police hat, and put on his social science hat. And in so doing, found out a couple of things about the young man, about his background, and I suppose it might have, as it were, helped him to understand what was going on in the life of this young man as to why he might have been inclined to be in the position he was in. Dr. Jason Mackay, are you with us now? Still not hearing Dr. Jason Mackay. Dr. Samaj, in terms of what I just described about that article that I saw, in terms of what Dr. Jason Mackay wrote, any comments? Because Dr. Jason Mackay was able to sort of get into the mind of this young man who he had arrested. It's reported. Dr. Samaj?
There's a lot more anecdotal information and also solid research that corroborate what he has described. So I'm saying that we know what is required. Because if the person, look, the purpose of socialization, is to make you fit within the social order so you can function positively and constructively. And we see the signs from primary school days. And do we have interventions in place? We don't. Because one, at the first level, just suspending a child or expelling a child doesn't solve the problem.
It does not solve the problem. Yes, it might cause it. It might temporarily send a signal that yes, the school is serious about your behavior. But what about the person?
Exactly. And in fact, during that time, the person is almost pushed into the arms of those who will be supporting the destructive behavior.
Yes.
So we need institutions. We need facilities that children like these. I have done my own little way of doing it. For example, I was able to assist a mother who she was desperate to get her child in the community. And mine was quite unofficial, where I got one of the more constructive children's home to take this child.
1 second, Dr. Samaj, only because of time. I know that you're in the middle of speaking, sir, but we are going to try to have Dr. Jason Mackay come on at this time to even give a comment or two. Dr. Jason Mackay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good having you on, sir. I'm so sorry we had some technical issues that caused us not to be hearing you earlier on, and we do apologize to our listeners. We read the article, Dr. Mackay. Your thoughts in the few minutes or seconds we have left.
Well, I was listening to Dr. Samaj. I agree with what he's saying. All we're doing is deflecting the expense that what we should be applying now to create an intervention at a later stage when you're actually going to have to fight the same individual as a criminal if you don't do an intervention now. So you're shifting all you're doing is shifting the cost. It's still going to occur. So,
any comments, Dr. Mackay? Apologies. Any comments, Dr. Mackay, about the very communities that some of these gang families exist in? Because the reality is that these communities exist, and it appears as if the gang families thrive better in some communities more than others. Any comments there?
Yeah, that is clear. They're going to do better in communities where there's deprivation, because that's what feeds into the continuity of the gangs. And
But
that's
I think your article is indicating it's not poverty alone and it's not deprivation alone that causes this.
No, small space influences are an extremely weak factor, and that is what I found in the communities I work with. It's the same homes that are producing the same criminals generation after generation. So there's a degree of indoctrination that's taking place
I
within
see
these
what you mean. Yes.
perimeter.
Dr. Mackay, a final thought you'd like to leave with us. I know that you came on late, but we're almost completely out of time. Any final thoughts you want to leave with us today, sir?
There has to be a much stronger marriage between the social services and the police force, where we can identify these homes that are in need of social intervention, and literal task forces can be applied within very small geographies to try and create an intervention to those who are subject to the small space influences.
Thank you very much for that. Dr. Semaj, I know that you had spoken quite a bit earlier, but a final word you want to leave with us as well?
It's not done. We can always do it. We just have to have the will. Because guess what? The money, you find the money at the other end. We need to find the money earlier, and we need to move some of these individuals out of those communities.
Totally understand, and thank you very much, gentlemen, for your... You were saying something further, Dr. Semaj?
No, I was saying that's very true. It's just Mackay here. I was saying
Dr. Mackay, you're concurring with him.
Right.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and for your thoughts. Do apologize to our listeners for the technical challenges which caused Dr. Mackay to come on so late in the program, and apologies to you as well, Dr. Mackay. I want to thank both of you gentlemen again for your time and for your thoughts. Very important discussion we had this morning in the first watch. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Jan Bank is
7:32 a.m.
Shake and go with two shake. Shake and go. Grab a two shake and go. When me have to put in the work, but I'm moving slow. Grab a two shake and go. School time and I took time. Office study hard, brain full time. Grab a two shake and go. When we up in the gym, we have to stay healthy and fit. Grab a two shake and go. Shake and go with two shake. Packed with 9 grams of protein, 24 key vitamins and minerals to keep you going. Grab a two shake and go.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
In life, the more you have, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
With Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Bashco. For everything where you need. Bashco. Quality service guaranteed on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Gives you more. Yeah, Bashco. Furniture for your house, and everything for your kitchen, rugs, and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco. If you're a farmer or a fisher folk, this one's for you. Sagicor AgriCare Plan. With AgriCare Plan, you can get affordable insurance coverage for you and your family. Life insurance, critical illness coverage, or health insurance for as little as $1,700 every 3 months. Visit SagicorAgriCare.com to learn more. Farmers and fisher folk, get the insurance coverage your family deserves today with Sagicor AgriCare Plan.
Importers, the Jamaica Customs Agency is revolutionizing your clearance experience as our contactless clearance process becomes mandatory on April 2, 2024. This process will facilitate the clearance of all non-commercial personal shipments at our seaports with a CIF value of less than $5,000 being inspected by customs without you or your agent present. You're encouraged to make your payments using our customs mobile app, JA Customs Connect. Fees payable to your shipping agent and warehouse operator remain applicable. For further information, contact your freight forwarder or email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm or call 876-922-5140-8. The JCA's contactless clearance process is convenient, efficient, and secure. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Ooh la la. I see what I want at Fast Rate Super Sale, March 18 to 28. Visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Come get your wires, breakers, chandeliers, flood lamps, LED bulbs, and so much more. You can't afford to miss it. Come shop. Come save at Fast Rate Super Sale, March 18 to 28. See you there at Fast Rich. Open Sundays.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have among the latest news in terms of the Gleaner Online. More schools can benefit from wastewater treatment project, says Scientific Research Council. We also have Health Ministry condemns reported racist remarks about UK MP by contractor. We also have JCF reports 11% decline in murders as country records nearly 60 homicides in 14 days. We turn to Loop Jamaica News Online. 60% of people in the UK support an apology for slavery, that according to research. We also have, unfortunately, here a story, secretary charged with assault following fight with another female, and man arrested after allegedly renting vehicle, failing to return item. In the Daily Observer, the physical copy of the Daily Observer, motorists wasting money buying wrong grade of gasoline. More of that story at page 8 of the Daily Observer. And the main item, or the main story on the front page of the Daily Observer is back in court, or rather, back in your court. Auditor General returns reports to Parliament. And there's a photograph here of the Auditor General, Pamela Monroe Ellis. Those and many other stories in our various news sources, of course. Coming up next, we'll read for some feedback from our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp question, which is what, or rather, why do you think some of our boys turn into killers? Why do you think some of our boys turn into killers? If you haven't done so yet, leave your responses in our Facebook or YouTube Love 1FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes too. 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Coming up on the next Campus Connection, we'll be unlocking academic excellence with ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence, AI, is a technology that has the potential to transform educational systems and make them more inclusive and adaptive. AI can also help prepare students for the careers of today and tomorrow by integrating it into the STEM curriculum and developing their skills and competencies. We'll explore 7 ethically innovative prompts that can transform your academic journey and unlock your potential. You are invited to join the conversation with Dr. Sheldon Campbell, AI enthusiast, and honorable guest Miss Diane Plummer, Jamaican engineer and STEM enthusiast. This all happens on Tuesday, March 26 at 5:30 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall, we move right into the second watch. And Champs 2024 is over. It's over. Mission 35 was accomplished by Kingston College, whilst Edwin Allen girls took first place again for the girls in terms of the boys and girls champs. KC won boys. Edwin Allen won the girls champs. They are both the winners. There are those who did not win, and there were highlights and there were some things that were not such highlights. Were there any surprises, controversies, records, and disappointments even? What about the meet itself? Were there any management or organizational hiccups? Were there other issues that need to be discussed? We have as our guest today, Love 101 FM's host of Sports Talk and, of course, sports commentator, Kathia Davis. We also have Celia French Sanderson. She's a sports commentator. Celia French Sanderson, and of course, Kathia Davis. Good morning, ladies. How are you both?
Good morning, Stokeley. How are you? You see, you hear my voice, man. I'm sure Celia has better voice than me this morning.
You have some voice left.
Boy, it's a struggle. The voice is a struggle.
Well, let's get right into it. Starting with either of you, actually. Any of you can jump in. What were the highlights and the not so highlights from Champs 2024? This is Kathia Davis. Go ahead, Kathia.
I think the highlight in terms of Champs this year for me was the many athletes getting personal bests. We didn't have a lot of records, but we did have a lot of personal bests.
Okay.
And so that would have been the highlight for me.
Okay.
Across the championships.
Yes.
But in terms of a low point, definitely what happened in terms of on Friday, and the 200 meters unable to run the semifinals because of issues with the track.
Yes.
And that delayed the entire proceeding. I mean, we were at the stadium until minutes to 12 on Friday night.
Yes.
And that is supposed to be the night that the students who would have marched with their school colors come to the championships. They would have been there from midday. So you can imagine at now almost 12 hours later, and they're still some of them still at the stadium.
Yes.
And so that for me was a low point, because it begs the question, were inspections not done to the track before to know that this problem would have occurred? I mean, it was just one round of the 200 meters. So what could have happened between round one and trying to run the semifinals? So
yes, it brings us to the whole matter of organizational issues. Celia French Sanderson, good morning. We seem to have lost. Have we lost Celia French? I think we're hoping to have her back on in a moment, or have her on in a moment. Well, what were some of the issues which may not necessarily be track related in the strict sense of the word? The whole discussion about the buying of athletes, Kathia.
I mean, the truth, I don't know. Like, I think people make a very big thing about buying athletes. It's really not that big.
And I don't mean buying in the literal sense. We know what we mean, right?
Right. So, in terms of, first of all, ISA has put in their specific rules in terms of how a student transfer. And I'll use one perfect example. Hurdler from St. Jago.
Mm-hmm.
She went to Hydel.
Yes.
She's now going back to St. Jago. No.
Yes.
Having gone from St. Jago to Hydel, she had to sit out a year.
Okay.
But she's now going back to her original school, and she still has to sit out another year. And so ISA has put these rules in place so that, I mean...
Another one though, Kathia, before we head to the break. When an athlete comes from a foreign country and there are questions being raised about their age, putting on the spot, Kathia.
Boy, I mean, it's hard. I don't know. I think people just people say, they just talk about things, because if the proper checks are done and these athletes that come in, whether they come in from Africa or they come in from the Caribbean islands,
wherever
they're coming from England, wherever they're coming from, they have to produce their birth certificate and all of that to participate and to say what their age is. For people to be questioning the age of children, I think something is fundamental.
Hold that thought, Kathia. Hold that thought, because we are now upon a break already. Listeners, go absolutely nowhere. Please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Follow the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA. The time by the ministry is
7:45.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school, and now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugar drink at my school may mean one friend less, or two or three, at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar, and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease, and high blood pressure. The solution is simple, right? Act now. Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Mommy, what are you sneaking and eating?
You catch me.
That's not the mother's Easter bun you promised me, is it?
No. Well, yes. Well, I was preparing it for you for tomorrow. And a little drop off.
You call them 2 slice liquor, Mommy?
You catch me. Shouldn't you be asleep?
With all the noise, Mommy, I need some mother's Easter bun before I go back to bed.
Winner of the 2023 King of Buns Easter Bun Contest. Mother's Easter Bun is baked to perfection.
A sub bun for nice. Can I get another slice?
Mother's Easter Bun. Grab one before them done.
More deliciousness.
More deliciousness from Mother's Bakery.
Yes, me get the last cheese. Tasty beat.
Brothers and sisters, at the end of Easter service, we have cheese.
Tasty beat.
Only if we get the bun and cheese.
Tasty beat.
Serve, sell me some bun and cheese.
Tasty beat.
Wow, this looking nice with some tasty cheese.
Tasty beat.
Can I have some cheese, please?
Tasty beat.
Make me get on real bad with the tasty cheese, boy.
Tasty beat with tasty cheese.
Home is where you put down your roots. So at Sagicor Bank, we designed a mortgage with everything you need to own your home easier. Get up to 100% financing, fast processing time, up to $100,000 cash back to assist with expenses, a competitive interest rate, plus an unsecured loan of up to $2 million to go solar at home, and a special rate on home insurance. Let's help you put down your roots. Call 888 Sagicor to apply for your Sagicor Bank mortgage. Conditions apply.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, I further my education and I make mama proud.
Save so you can take the part, travel far, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Ooh la la. I see what I want at Fast Rate Super Sale, March 18 to 28. Visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay.
Come get your wires, breakers, chandeliers, flood lamps, LED bulbs, and so much more. You can't afford to miss it.
Come shop. Come save at Fast Rate Super Sale, March 18 to 28. See you there at Fast Rate. Open Sundays.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch. Having a discussion on the review of Boys and Girls Champs 2024 and our commentators for today. We have Celia French Sanderson, sports commentator, and of course we have Love 101 FM's Kathia Davis. And Kathia Davis, you're making a very interesting comment just before the break. Would you like to complete your thought, madam?
Sure. No, I was just saying, I find it awkward, weird that we will try to question the age of athletes, wherever they come from, because of course these schools were the schools across the country. So if that's a part of the banter, then that's fine.
I will make up a hypothetical, not any specific case. If the young man or the young woman appears to be an adult or older than the class that they're in compared to the other persons in that class or supposed age group, it will raise questions, Kathia, won't it?
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. Because are you saying that the school administrators are lax in terms of their
I'm not saying
information?
that, Kathia, but you know, a parent might say, you know, my son is running against that big man. You know, at those ages, you know, that little 1 year and 2 year age gap makes a significant difference.
But if people have defined growth in spurts, so then growing spurts.
All right, Kathia Davis, thank you for that. Cecilia Friend Sanderson, good morning.
Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Hearing you loud and clear, Cecilia Friend Sanderson.
Good morning, good morning.
What were the highlights for you and any comments you want to make in terms of the controversies about age and the controversies about buying athletes? Cecilia Friend Sanderson, please tell us your thoughts.
Oh Lord, the age controversy. I heard that young lady, I forgot her name, saying that she don't believe that the administrators would do something like that and so forth.
Kathia Davis,
Well,
it has happened right here in the studio.
I am sure it has happened in the past. So
you are sure what?
Yes, if not in track and field, certainly in football, we've heard where, you know, athletes are not eligible and participating. You have not heard that before?
Continue, Cecilia Friend Sanderson.
Not eligible, not based on age, but based on...
Well, as far as I know, based on age, but not my baby, and I do not want to get into that. My highlights for Champs, oh my God, Champs was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You know, we never had any records on the track as it relates to the 100, 200, 400, etc. But we had certainly some records in the, well, we had a record in the decathlon, 400 meters, and in the 100, we had a record and 14.11 to global technical Alicia Knight. But on the infield, you know, the infield, as you all know, is my baby. I love these athletes. We had Kimika Smith of St. Jago, shot put girls class 2. She got 16.44. Vivian Bernard of Heidel, the class 3 high jump record holder, now 1.83, and I believe she could have gone on further, but she said, you know what, let me stop it right here. And of course, the triple jump class 2 boys, Michael Andre Edwards, 15.54. You know, those were superb records. And again, unfortunately, we had none on the track. But, you know, next year, I'm sure we'll get some records. When I saw the breeze on Saturday morning, I said, oh Lord, I don't think any record is going to take place on this final day of Champs. But my highlight, my love, was the triple jump for girls. That was an open event. You know, we had several leaders in this event, and then to come out and take it with their final attempt, Jaden Dawkins, she was fifth going into the final 3 rounds. And her final jump, 13.28 to take the clear lead. And then Jada Robinson of Immaculate, 13.21. She was in second position, and she finished in second position with that jump. She went into the lead, I think, about 2 times, Jada Robinson. And then Celine Riddle, she was in 7th. And on her final jump, she jumped 13.04. That was superb. The triple jump was just a joy to watch and a joy to announce that we have 3 athletes going over 13 meters in the triple jump.
Interesting that you're speaking about these things, you know, Celia.
Say that again?
It's interesting you're mentioning these field events in this way and talking about the records, because typically in the Jamaican space, we tend to focus more on the races, the running.
I know, and that's why I made sure that this is going to be my standout. I don't know if you know, but they call me the field events baby, because when I went in 2012, I decided that I'm going to take on the field events because I never saw them getting the attention that the track athletes were getting, and these athletes work superbly hard. They work very hard to throw the javelin, to throw the discus, to do the shot put, to jump in the triple jump. I mean, the technique is a bit difficult and our girls haven't mastered it as yet. So, to get 13 over 13 meters in this final was excellent, 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 and I can't stop saying the word excellent.
a quick one. One moment, Celia friend Sanderson. Kathia Davis, I'm looking here at page 46 of the Daily Observer, today's Daily Observer, and this is written by Robert Bailey, staff reporter. No letting go. KC head says plans afoot to mark 100-year anniversary with Champs 2025 win. And at page 47, this one is written by Paul A. Reed. Edwin Allen, principal, targets 10 straight titles. Any comments? Edwin Allen and KC going for it again.
Yeah, I mean, on the boys' side, I think KC has now over the years with Coach Grant and other coaches that would have come into the system, learn to build the program. So it's not just about winning in terms of having your field events win champs or having the track win champs. If it is that you look at the record in terms of how many races KC won, they didn't win a lot of races, and I would have commented on this going into the champs saying KC is not going to win a lot of races at championships, but they're going to score points because they're going to get people in finals, and so said, so done. And because they have developed a program in terms of starting from class 3 right to class 1. So they don't place any specific focus on any specific class. It's about the overall job of the entire team. So when like their high jumper, Aaron McKenzie, who was defending champion in class 1, when he finished 7th, that didn't matter, because KC still won by over 57 points. On the case of Edwin Allen, last year, Heidel would have come and, Edwin Allen had mixed up, but Heidel powered through and won last year. This year's Girl Championships was closer than persons thought. I mean, there was an Heidel athlete who fell in the hurdles. I think she was one of the favorites to win in the class 4 70-meter hurdles, and she fell. And I think that's what, really caused the championships to I mean, it ended 9.5 points between them. Edwin Allen does have a program that they're doing very well. Coach Dyke seems to know how to win, seems to know how to get his girls motivated, and so I can see them winning, but Heidel is not going to go down without fighting. I see the other programs in terms of Jamaica College, Calabar still rebuilding. So I actually see KC probably winning another 3 to 4 years before they're caught again in terms of the building of the programs.
I see. So KC seems to have the trade secret that allows them to continue to dominate champs in the way that they have been dominating, and Edwin Allen came back. Any recommendations for next year before we wrap? Celia French Sanderson, any recommendations for next year's champs? 2025, we're almost out of time already, never enough time on the morning watch. But any recommendations for next year? If you sitting down where you are looking across, what would you say should be done for next year's champs?
Well, I would say to ensure that everything is in place in terms of, the track has no issues on the track, and so we won't have to have any delays in the event. Ensure that all that is fixed and ready to go for Championship 2025. We saw the 200-meter being pushed back, and that was a bit of bother because everything had to be pushed back, and we ended up being late on that day. But other than that, not seeing anything much that we could change.
And any comments or thoughts on the the recognition that was given to some of our past athletes at this.
I think that was beautiful. Daniel England and Anisha McLaughlin. I think that was beautiful, and I think the tribute to Hubert Lawrence was beautiful as well. He was not here. I'm so happy I wasn't there on Saturday because I couldn't have dealt with that part. But the Anisha McLaughlin and the Daniel England, it was absolutely beautiful, and it's something that they should continue to do to recognize the past athletes of champ.
I thought that was very good as well. Recommendations for next year, Kathia Davis.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Celia. The crossing the T's and dotting the I's have to be done. And as a spectator, obviously I'm there for sports content, but as a spectator coming, I really did not have any issues at all other than that 200-meter delay. So I think Issa did a very good job in terms of organizing, but I think the issue with the 200-meter just overall, all the good that they did for the 5-day championship.
Have to leave it for this morning. I want to thank Kathia Davis, sports commentator, host, Sports Talk, Love 101 FM, and Celia French, sports commentator, for being with us this morning in the second watch. Very interesting conversation on the review of Boys and Girls Champs 2024. Thank you for your time and for your thoughts. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we look at other topical and controversial issues. And of course, visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. Listen to the Morning Watch on our Love 101 app. Download it today and stay connected to the family station, Love 101 FM, the number 1 gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marshall, handing back to Love in the Morning with Kareem.